Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the WCG podcast. My name is Brendan Scott, and I'm joined by the great man himself, Ricky Borrett. How are you, brother?
Hello, you all right?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Good to see you in not exactly the flesh, but good to see your face.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's nice to put a face to the name.
Yeah, Ricky is, I guess, half of the connection from Backyard Cricket England. You're missing your main man, Alex Smith. I'm missing my main man, Matt White. So we're both flying solo today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to start this podcast with a bit of sad news. Should I do it, or would you like to pass on the bad news to our many fans?
Yeah, I'll leave you to pass on the bad news.
All right. So, look, as many people would probably have worked out by now, we've unfortunately had to postpone the series, obviously with COVID and the fact that these boys wouldn't have been able to get in at very least without having to quarantine for 14 days, and could have started a GoFundMe and maybe got you up in a hotel or whatnot, but unfortunately that's not the case. Maybe in the future when we're all superstars, mate. But we've had to postpone the Ashes, so that is a shame, and therefore as a result we're going to have to postpone the Tri series that was scheduled for after that. Look, I guess on a positive note, this is probably the first time you're going to, at least on our platform anyway, get to know Ricky and get to know what Backyard Cricket England are all about. Obviously, off the back of, well, actually, I'll let you tell the story, but off the back of the Kiwi series, Ricky got in contact with us and said, look, we're better than those sheep shaggers. We're going to come and take you on. And obviously the prospect of a Backyard Ashes was exciting. So first of all, let's get to know Ricky. Who's Ricky Borrett? Where did his love for cricket come from?
Yeah, so I started sort of watching cricket in the 2005 Ashes.
Yeah.
Which literally before then I didn't have any interest in cricket at all, and then I got into that. Obviously, we beat you guys for the first time for a while.
Sure did.
And from
great
there,
series.
It was a fantastic series, and I think that's sort of a lot of people in cricket was sort of dying in England at that point, and then a lot of people started getting into cricket after that. Me being one of them, and really from there on, I sort of joined to play cricket, and been playing cricket ever since. And then here I am,
on the verge of representing your country in your own Ashes, mate. Yeah, that was a fantastic series, wasn't it? That 2005 series. I remember it was actually you're right, because England just kept getting rolled by us, didn't you? Like we just kept rolling you, whether it was home or away. I mean, they were our best. Even the 2005 side was probably one of our greatest ever. But yeah, it was a period of what I don't know. Was it 20 odd years that you hadn't won the Ashes?
Yeah, and it was basically. I mean, even for someone like me who wasn't really into cricket, I knew sort of like the score with the England versus Australia. I sort of knew that we hadn't won for ages, and I sort of saw cricket as like a game where you sort of knew the result before you sort of watched the game.
Yeah.
It was like one of them. It's sort of like me. It's my attitude to golf now. Sort of, I don't really I don't get it. I'm not really interested in it. And then sort of like this series, it's like it was a bit like football. Like I'm into football, but it was so exciting. Like that. I remember the test where we got Kasparovich out in the last sort of like 4 to win.
Yeah, something like that.
So exciting, and even the last test at the Oval, you know, where we thought we were gonna win the Ashes, and then sort of like Shane Warne came on and started ripping into our batting order, and we were like, oh fuck. And then sort of like luckily Peterson came in, and then Shane Warne dropped him, and it was so exciting. Like it was, you know, the ups and downs of it was just, that's what attracted me to cricket, I think.
If you ask every Australian, when Glenn McGrath rolled his ankle in the warm-up for the second Test match, that was where the series changed. If he doesn't roll his ankle, mate, we win 5-0. We win 5-0. Mate, Michael Vaughan has admitted that. Or just about every Pommy that was playing in that series goes, yeah, that was a big moment. And then obviously that the rest is history, as they say in that Test match. Was one of the greats. I think you snuck home by 2 runs or whatever, and it just gave you that belief that you can
Yeah.
beat this side. And then
I think also as well, even without McGrath's injury, I think that second test, if we lose that, you know, obviously Brett Lee smacking that through cover or somewhere around that.
Either side, 2 meters either side. It's
if that goes for 4, that's the Ashes done, and that is what I think drew me to it, because it was so fine lines between 2 different results. It's fantastic, and sort of from there on, I was quite young when that happened. I think, how old was I? I think I was 11 years old when that series was out. So
I would have been
from
16.
So from there on, you know, I started playing cricket in our backyard. So I live in a flat, so we have 3 blocks of flats here.
Yeah.
And we've got a massive garden, but obviously everyone shares it. But obviously there was kids my age around here, and we started playing, you know, outdoor cricket, like sort of backyard cricket.
Yeah.
We called it garden cricket. With a swing ball, and sort of then obviously as I grew up, we sort of grew apart, and then we didn't play it, and then I played normal cricket, and obviously I saw you guys, and then it sort of reminisced to my younger days.
Yeah, I was I got to admit, it was quite exciting when we received a message from a POM saying we're going to come down and take you on, because that's the ultimate, isn't it? I mean, look, fair play to the Kiwis that you know, when we got in contact with them, we were meant to go over and play one of their tournaments. You know, they play like pub tournaments at different provinces or different areas, and they play a national tournament. We were going to play. I'd go over and play one of them, and then it just didn't work out. It was just too small of a time frame to kind of make it all work. But then we said, look, just keep in touch and maybe get an all-star team over. And before you know it just started snowballing. Like our series, mate, it just went from an idea to, all right, well, where can we stay, to we're booking flights to it's on. Like, and you know, unfortunately, we're going to have to postpone our tournament, but it will happen. And this will be one of the, actually, this will be the biggest thing that backyard cricket's ever seen.
As I've said to you before, we've refunded our flights now, and as soon as we get the refund for them, we're going to obviously book another date for next year, or your next summer even. Obviously, the good news about it being cancelled is it now means that we can bring, I don't know if you wanted to announce this, but we can bring 10 over now instead of 8. So obviously, when we first saw you guys, it was before the New Zealand series, and obviously you were only playing 8 sides, so we sort of managed to we sort of thought maybe we could get 8 over, but now the attraction that we've built over time, we've managed to sort of get 10 aside, which is great. Have I ever told you how we found you guys? Did I ever tell you that story?
Oh, mate, who hasn't found us, mate? We're just world superstars, you know what I mean? Technically, we're going to claim it world champions. We've won the only international series. We're claiming it, mate.
It's a very wild story. Story.
Tell the world.
So me and my mate Lewis, who's also coming on the tour with us. So we went to I don't know. Some people think this is interesting. Some people think it's fucking boring. But we went to an island above Norway, which is like the highest place you can live on the earth. It's basically in the wild. It's an island that's just there's a small town, and the rest of it's just wild completely.
Were you tripping through Europe, or did you just go there?
No, we just went there. Just basically, it's the nearest place you can go to the North Pole without the nearest land you can go. So it's a 4-hour flight from Norway.
Yeah.
The island called Svalbard, and basically it's a small town. It's a tiny town. I don't know. You can compare it to, I don't know, maybe where you live or where Matt lives. It's a tiny town. Maybe you can walk from the top to the bottom in maybe 10 minutes, and the rest of it is like 50 miles worth of just like deserted island, which has got like polar bears and stuff. So basically, when it got dark, we only had about 5 hours of light. And when it got dark, we weren't really allowed to walk around in night because of like polar bears and stuff. So as soon as it got dark, me and Lewis, we went to the shop, got a load of beers, and thought, "Fuck it, we're going to go in the hotel and have a bit of a mini session."
Yeah.
And sort of as we were bored in the hotel, we sort of flicking through YouTube, and I started like this popped up, backyard cricket, and it became sort of like out of the sort of week and a half we were there, it became sort of like an evening thing, right? Right, I'm watching the first one. Now I'm watching the second one.
Was that during our New Zealand series?
No, that was just before the New Zealand series.
Okay.
That was the domestic series before the New Zealand series.
Yeah.
So we watched that, and then obviously you guys announced the New Zealand series, And then I thought, oh wow, we'll watch that as well. And so from there on, we just watched every single one, and that was the story.
So this idea of the backyard ashes between Australia and England was conceived in a small town in Norway.
For a small town 400 miles from the North Pole, yeah.
Oh, mate,
mad,
if that's not a story and a half, I don't know what is. That's
mad.
it can't get any more romantic than that.
But then, we got back here, and Lewis is kind of, he's always been quite interested in cricket, but he's very new to sort of playing this form of cricket.
Yeah.
And one of my mates, Alex, as well, who's more into cricket. He's probably more into cricket than me and Lewis put together. He's a cricket nerd completely. He loves it.
Yeah.
I got back to the pub with him. We had a few, got a little bit drunk, and we said, "Do you fancy getting a team to Australia?" And he went, "Yeah, all right." And then we woke up in the morning sober, and we thought, this isn't going to be very realistic, is it? Getting 8 or 10 of us to Australia, and we sort of tried. We managed to get up sort of 6 players, and then we sort of got 2 players that weren't very good, and we thought, wow. And then they couldn't come anyway, so we were like, okay. And then we managed to get 8 players, and now we've got 10, and here we are. Like we're going. It's pretty amazing. Mad. Flights booked, and it's
the originally, for those who are just tuning in, there was originally 8. There was going to be 8v8, but now with obviously the interest that's been built up since the announcement, and you guys getting your own platform. You guys have got a YouTube channel now and Instagram and all that, and have started doing videos. Which if you haven't checked it out, check them out, because it's actually you got some talented players. We'll go through a few of them in a sec, but so now it's going to be 10v10 sometime either next year or early 2022. We're going to have to sit down and nut down a date for that, but it's on, mate. You fancy yourselves. You fancy yourselves in Bandit country, mate?
We're so excited for it. I mean, the only thing that we are slightly worried about is the obviously the conditions, like the heat and stuff. Here it's like -1 here at the moment, so we're a bit worried about playing all day in sort of like 30-40 degree heat. And also what we've been practicing on is sort of like hard, flat surfaces. So obviously yours deteriorates after a while, and it can bounce quite high. So I think there's a lot of things we've got to work on, but we're confident. We've got a very good team. Obviously we haven't announced all our players yet. We're saving the best till last.
I'll rattle off a few names in a sec that I think that I'm going to try and press you on. But I guess that's probably the next step for you is to probably try and play on something a bit more conducive to what you might get out here. But having said that, I mean, Matt produces they're good wickets that they play pretty evenly. To be honest, 1 or 2 balls, can. Obviously, it's grass instead of a flat kind of tennis court that you guys are playing on at the moment. But from what I'm saying, you guys got some talent. You guys could be all right. I writ you off a few months ago, but now that you've got your YouTube channel up and we've been able to see, you guys might be all right.
We got a few good players. I mean, obviously, what we've got at the moment is not everyone in the video is going. And not everyone who's in the video at the moment, because we've got a few injuries who can't play at the moment. So there's a few that have been announced on the thing on the YouTube channel. But there's some good players. There's a few good players. I think we'll be a good match.
Keeping a couple of aces up your sleeve, mate. They're injured.
No,
good. No, good. All right. So what I will ask is, so obviously would Alex probably be one of your best mates? Or is most of your clique? Do you play together outdoor cricket?
Yeah. So I would say Alex. I've been mates with Alex for quite a while now. Met him through football, funny enough, not cricket. And he now plays. We play in the same team now. Most of the team, most of the people in the YouTube video are in our cricket team. Not all of them though.
I remember you mentioning for some of them you play against. Do you play against some of them?
Yeah, so there's a couple that I'm just trying to think who we don't play against any of them, but they're in other teams. So we've got a couple that aren't in our team. There's a couple that are joining this year.
All right,
that used to play for another team, and there's a few that are just in other teams. Actually, no, there is one player actually. I don't know if you remember. If you're watching this, Bijal Patel, he's he plays in a different team, and we actually play against him as well. And we lost to his team last year.
That was going to be one of the names I was going to mention. We'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks a handy player indeed.
He is a very good. He's played for us once, and he's hit 100 in a normal cricket game. So he is a good cricketer. But yeah, it's just getting the best players to come over to Australia is
yeah, exactly. I mean, look,
difficult.
you've got to fork out the cash and all that. Yeah. And mate, we're extremely grateful that you guys are doing it, because it's one thing for us to kind of host it. It's another thing to have to pay the cash and fly halfway around the world to make it happen. So good on you.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. I mean, it's sort of like, it's good for both teams, isn't it? It's good for you guys, for your channel, and for us, to play there for cricket people. I mean, everyone looks at it and goes, "I'd like to play there." So to play there, we just look at cool.
You just look at the enthusiasm that the Kiwi series had. You can times that by 10 with what this is going to be. And I guess this is just about building the scene around the world, because ultimately it's about getting into a position where we can have a backyard cricket World Cup. With New Zealand, England, we're supposed to have South Africa, a team from South Africa come next year as well. So, yeah, hopefully in the not too distant future, if COVID can piss off and we can get back to normal, we can have a backyard cricket World Cup with teams from all over the world, and that will just be something epic.
That'd be pretty good.
Obviously, you did mention that you played soccer with Alex. So what people might not know is that Ricky's actually a very accomplished goalkeeper. Tell us about your footballing story too, mate.
Not at the moment. I haven't played this year for certain reasons, because of COVID and injuries and stuff and work commitments. But I have played semi-professional football before. So I remember. So my team Tottenham, who I support, played in the FA Cup against Marine the other week, and I remember sort of saying to like my parents and stuff, that's the same sort of level I was playing at. Not too long ago. So
what a buzz that would have been if you were keeping against Gareth Bale.
It would have been nice, but I was a little bit jealous of their goalkeeper. I was like, that could have been me, but yeah. So I'm not too bad, but at the moment, I sort of cricket's taken over a little bit at the moment. So
yeah, well, that's look. Forget the goalkeeper, mate. You're going to be an international backyard cricketing superstar soon, mate. But,
yeah. So I tell you what, when I was younger, I didn't think that, but
here we are.
One thing I would say as well about our YouTube channel as well is the next couple of innings is very interesting, especially the last innings. It's I won't say too much on it, but there could be all three results possible in the last.
So we've got a thriller. We've got a thriller at the what does that look like? The London Dome. Where are you playing at?
It's
like a bubble.
Outside, just outside London. It's in Waldenham, which is in Surrey.
Yeah.
Which is just under the M25. And it's in a private school, and it's an indoor tennis court, but we use it for cricket, obviously. But we needed something indoors, because we play cricket in the summer. So like you guys play your backyard cricket in the summer. Yeah. We can't really do that because we all play cricket in the summer. So we have to do ours in the winter, which is fine because it gives us something to do in the winter as well. A lot of people just play cricket, so in the winter they're not doing anything at all. So it's nice to all get together in the winter, and we all enjoy each other's company. So and obviously finding somewhere where sort of they would let us play, especially with COVID at the moment. So we've been told we can't play there at the moment. So unfortunately, this video, the match that we're filming on YouTube currently, will be our last one this winter. But what we're planning to do next year is planning to do a 3-series test match.
Yep.
And at the moment, we only book it for like 4 hours. So we have a rule. I don't know if the commentary said, but we have a rule that
an hour each inning, is it?
Yeah, the first innings has to be capped, because what we done in the first test that we done that we didn't film, is it was such a stale draw because we only had about 4 hours.
Yeah.
So what we're going to plan to do next winter is hire it out for a lot longer, maybe 6-7 hours, and maybe have a sort of like 8 or 10 aside, like a proper test match, you know. So we're going to do like a three match series and have it all recorded on our channels. So just sort of a build up towards the Ashes, you know, obviously have that in the winter and then just before we go. So it'll be something for you guys to look at and make it more exciting.
Bit of a study session, mate. No, good. Well, I guess that's one of the kind of how would you say it, blessing in disguise is about this not going ahead in February. I guess you guys get more of a chance to build your scene as well and train more and play together more and whatnot and build camaraderie. So you know, and that the better the competition. Not to say that you wouldn't give us a run now, but obviously I can only see it being positive if you guys play and train and mingle with each other more and then come to the cauldron, prepared. But it's actually one of the things. It's actually a shame that you didn't come this summer because it's actually been, mate. We've had probably 4 days of 30 plus in the last week, and everything before that, it was mate mid-20s. So you probably missed the boat. So next time you come here, it's probably going to be 40 degrees.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, it's funny you should say that about us not coming because I was speaking to Alex actually yesterday, and he said to us, "It's kind of a blessing in disguise we haven't because I agree with him. He thinks we wouldn't win if we went now, just simply because we've got a good team, but because obviously we're traveling so far, we can't bring necessarily." We've got quite a few that are very good, but we can't bring 10 players that are all, you know, we can't bring, for example, the 10 players that I would like to bring.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to take, you know, we've got 10 very good players. Well, we've got a fair amount of very good players, but we haven't got 10 very good. So it gives us time to work on them players. The good thing about it is sort of there's a couple of players in our team that know they need to improve and they're happy to work on it. And it gives us that summer where me and Alex and a few others can work on them. Exactly. And it gives us more of a chance, I think, because the last thing we want is, you know, me and, you know, someone else, you know, going for no runs and then it all goes to waste because we haven't practiced with our lesser players. You know?
Oh, don't worry. We'd have a few. We got a few of them probably domestically, but I guess the bonus about having such a big kind of click, if you will, now with the WCG is that you then merge pretty much those two teams into one. And then actually you merge, you know, 36 players at the Australia Day Big Bash as well. And so you've got a network of probably, 40 players and you can converge them into a squad of 15 and we don't have to travel. So, you know, it's easier for us. Whereas for you, you've got to pick 10 and then it's probably going to be hard to justify saying to a bloke, look, come fly over, pay 1,500 or whatever you're paying for flights and accommodation, all the rest of it. And then you might only get a couple of games. You know what I mean? Like it is a hard sell.
I mean, it's difficult, you know, if say, for example, you know, obviously whoever's at home would have advantage straight away because if you, for example, came to us, you know, you'd have to get 10 players, but you'd have to get 10 players that are willing to travel. Whereas our selection would be so much broader if we were at home, you know. So it's gonna be hard in that sense. But the one thing I can say is I'm quite surprised at how many good players are prepared to come, which I'm happy about. You know, I think there's.
I mean, who's going to want to miss out on the first ever Backyard Ashes tour to Australia?
I mean,
and I guess the ultimate goal after that, hopefully we get this over the line and we have the series. And I guess the ultimate goal is we'll have to defend our title that we've got the divine right of winning. We're gonna have to defend. I sound like such a wanker saying that. It sounded more sophisticated in my head. We're gonna have to head over to England one day and hopefully you guys have you know, can sort out a setup and we have to, you know, get a return series going. I mean, that's the kind of we were going to do that for New Zealand this year before our domestic season, but obviously with COVID that fell through. So I guess it's great hosting everything, but we would like, you know, touring, you know, going. It's a holiday, so you know, holidays are holidays, mate. You know what I mean?
That's what it's so much more than, you know, obviously the main reason we're coming is obviously for the Backyard Ashes, but there's so much more, you know, we're going to be there for 2.5 weeks, you know, so there's going to be so much more, you know, it's a holiday, as you said, so it's not just, you know, the days of the cricket, so it's good. But we're looking at I don't know about in Australia, but to have a garden the size of Matt's in England, you've got to be very, very well off. So,
Yeah.
and none of
So
us are that. So
I think that's you can tell by it's just a little bit different in culture. In Australia, you have a backyard. It's just you got to have a backyard. I mean, obviously, you've got a lot of townhouse. I don't know what you call them. Is it townhouses or
towns,
yeah, towns where that's just all. And mate, your backyard is probably as big. I'm in my studio now. It's probably as big as this. It's probably like
it's
5x5 at best.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, we have got a few. If there was a return series, we have got a few ideas though that we have got rolled up our sleeves. So we've been looking at sort of like the New Zealand setup and what they do, and the way they do things, and we've got a kind of idea of what we can do to try and make that happen if it's possible.
Well, that's the same. Well, we've got to, if we're going to host a Backyard Cricket World Cup, you can't have it at Matt's, you know what I mean? There's too many teams, there's too many this and that. So we're looking to expand as well. So we need, you know, I guess that's part of the beauty about all this is that, you know, we've gone from just being a bunch of drunks that played backyard cricket once a month to now looking to expand, and we've got sponsors on board and yada yada, and talking about a backyard Ashes and a backyard cricket World Cup. It's nuts. And I guess, you know, the exciting thing is if COVID can duly just piss off, this is only the beginning of the journey. You know, this is something that we think that can run for, you know, 10 plus years. You know, the sky's the limit with this thing, and that's why it's so exciting, I think.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, when we watch it, it's just so well coordinated, and the whole thing is just brilliant. You know, I enjoy watching it. You know, even now, I mean, I'm at work and I get a notification saying, you know, the next episode's out in there, and I want to watch it. You know, as soon as I get home, it's exciting to watch. You know.
Yeah, I think I think we've done well for you between, you know, there's a whole host of us that put everything together, from getting the backyard ready to just prepping, you know, the tournaments, to the videos, to just everything on the day. I mean, I think a lot of us are cricket nuffies, so we just love it, and that's how it's just metastasized from there. And all of a sudden, you know, Matt took his backyard seriously, I took the editing seriously, and it just started to snowball. And all of a sudden, we've got a product that people want to come over and have a crack at.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, hopefully we can give you a better game than the Kiwis did. I'm hoping.
To be fair, look, they were look, if you talk just the test match leg, I mean, for those who might not know, we've agreed to play the same format as we played against the Kiwis. So it's a test match worth 6 points on the day or the Saturday or the Friday. I don't know when we're going to do it. And then the following day will be the limited over stuff, the 2 1-days and the 3 5-over matches, all for different amount of points. And then whoever's got the most points wins the trophy. But look, they were, I think they were a bit shell-shocked in the test match, but their format was the shorter format. And boy, did they, because we underestimated them a little bit when it got to the next day, when it got to the Saturday, and we kind of played a weaker squad for that first one day, and we got flogged, and we went into panic mode real quick and went, right, because I printed out teams that were going to play, because we wanted to give as many people a go as possible. So we had our teams for each match ready, and then that got scrapped and thrown in the bin after match one when we got flogged, and we went, right, okay, we need to knuckle down here. And look, they came very close to knocking us, or at least sending it to the last match when they made, 80 odd, and we luckily we were able to chase that down and win the series. But look, they were a good side, and judging from what I'm seeing in your YouTube videos, you guys will be at very least on par with them, if not better. So
I think they had a few very good players, didn't they? They had a few.
I think
their
main three were the boys from Taranaki. So you had Henry Miles, Satch Pryor, and why am I forgetting his name? Sam Fastia. Fastia made 200 runs and averaged 50 for the series. I mean, they had a few. They had a lot of other boys, Tamati and their skipper Vigo and Shane Louis. Like, they had a decent side, but those 3 boys in particular you could tell that they were just the players that have played a lot of cricket before. And
that's sort of going back to what I said earlier. That's where sort of I looked at that series and I saw that, and I thought, we can't just go with sort of 2 or 3. We need at least 5 of a Brendan Scott or a Matt White or you know, them three guys from New Zealand. We need at least sort of 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think having 2 or 3 is just not enough in a 10-a-side game. So that's what we try to do. I don't know if we've succeeded in that. I think so.
So
but
if you get
you'll
5 Brendan Scotts, mate, oh, you would never lose again, would you?
No, we've only got one of them. And you're speaking to him.
The chucker. I mean, sorry, no, the captain. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's go through some of your side now. So you're captaining the side. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how did that decision come about between you and Alex? Because I remember you saying that Alex was, I guess, more the cricketer out of you two. So how did the decision come for you to?
I would say Alex is more of a cricketer. I know more about the backyard cricket and you guys. Yeah. I think that's probably where I would be a better. I would say he's more knowledgeable at normal cricket.
Yeah,
he's got more knowledge, but I think
you've been following our scene for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and you know, he's sort of going through he's going to go through, like, you know, analyze the players and stuff, and we're sort of going to have a meeting about that and see, you know. But originally, you know, I know virtually watched every video, so I think it'd only be sensible to have that person as your captain.
That's mad, isn't it? We're talking about analysing backyard cricket for an international series.
Mad. We've got. He's going to have every single little minor detail: where to bowl, how to bowl, and what to do. And
don't bowl short to me. Don't bowl full to me. Don't bowl straight to me. Don't bowl wide to me. Right?
Oh, we know you don't like a short ball, Brendan. We've seen that in the New Zealand series.
Yeah, that was Henry who got me with an absolute rip snorter. The problem was with that, I premeditated. I thought I'm going to go at him here, and I couldn't have picked a worse ball. I think if you watch, if you hear me you just hear me go, oh, I'll just nowhere.
That came through pretty quick, didn't it? He's very, very.
Mate, I was surprised I got anything on it. I just did not see it. I was like, oh wow, bad move.
You didn't think to duck. I've never seen you.
No, because that's the problem. It was premeditated. So I was going, yeah, I'm going at it, and before you know it, I went, oh no, I'm in a bad way here, and just kind of went, ugh. And then that was a good rock. Though I didn't make many runs that series actually. That was more Matty White's.
Actually.
Yeah, or maybe I just buckled under the international pressure, mate, on the big stage. Just buckled, mate. All right, so Ricky Borrett, captain. So we know that Ricky Borrett bowls left arm pace, and you guys use the swing ball as well, which you'll be accustomed to. We use the swing balls will be used in the test matches. The swing balls. I can't remember if we use swing balls in the one days, and we'll have to have a look at that.
I think you use a full white tape ball. I think.
Yeah, that rings a bell because we used to use them in our domestic stuff as well. Then we changed it because, you know, we actually changed it because we didn't want so many wides being bowled. I think it just works better. So Alex, you're left arm batsman as well, can bat. So handy all round to the skipper. Would you make 82 in that? Was it 82 in that first knock? First innings
in the first innings, yeah.
What did you get in the first test? Did you make some runs in the first test?
So the first, I can't remember how much I got. I think it was in the region of 28 and 36.
Okay. So
the first one I strangled down leg side. Very annoying.
No. There's a bit of that going on. There's a bit of that goes on at the WCG as well. One of the worst ways to get out.
I was absolutely fuming. Honestly, I was looking really good as well, and just flicked it down, strangled down leg side. And we use plastic bats, so when you edge it, you can hear it as well. And it's like,
that's what the Kiwis used when they were over here as well. They use their plastic bats. So, you guys, what are you going to do? Are you going to be bringing over your plastic bats?
We do you know what? Originally, we started with a normal bat, and then we obviously looked at the Kiwis and we looked at it and we thought, we'll give that a go, because what we found with the normal bat is it sort of, not only are they quite heavy, because obviously the pitches are short in Matt's backyard. So we thought, right, okay, we're going to need time to react, and a heavy bat's not going to be a good idea. And then we thought, okay, we're still going to give it a go. So we gave it a go, and we found that when you hit the ball, it came off the bat very quickly, and obviously that can lead to hitting it over the fence. So we tried it. So we bought this was before we started the YouTube channel as well, when we were practicing in like parks and stuff during lockdown. And or just after lockdown, when we had restrictions released. But then we bought a plastic bat and thought we'll give this a go. And we found that not only is obviously plastic bats are really light, we found that when you hit it, it doesn't come off as quick, which is quite a good thing because we found. I mean, first of all, I said to everyone, I said, look, I think this is a better way of doing it, and people weren't so sure about it. And I remember Alex saying to me, I'm going to keep doing it keep using the wooden bat. Yeah. And eventually, everyone's come on board with the plastic bat because they feel that it's more.
With the bats we use in the backyard, so we just got Kookaburra Cricket as a sponsor this year. So it was the agreement was you use a Kookaburra bat or you use a no-name bat, and a lot of what we use are bats from like I don't know. You don't have Kmart in England? I don't know if that's an Australian brand.
Never heard of it.
Like Kmart's just like a shopping center, like a shopping store, and it's just we use literally $5 wooden crap cricket bats, but they're the best for the backyard. They're light as a feather. My one I bought when we first started backyard cricket, right? It's just a $5, it maybe cost $10, hunk of crap, and it's lasted me this whole time. And they're light as a feather, so that's what we predominantly use. Some of the others now with the newer bats are quite light. Have used some of the Kookaburra bats that they provided us, but a lot of us use just these fence palings that are but they're light as. So we'll have a couple of them ready for you. You might.
We'll have to trial and error when we get there.
Yeah, that it just makes off that plastic. That just makes that dunk, that real dunk. But really, look, they do. If you've got to hit it in the sweet spot, you hit it in the sweet spot, it does come off.
It goes, yeah. No, but so we're on the plastic bats at the moment, but we'll probably bring one over, and then we'll sort of see how it goes and sort of maybe test it when we get to you guys, and everyone might have a different opinion on it, but
you'll be binning it in half an hour, mate. I can guarantee you. All right, so we move on to your vice skipper, Alex Smith. Left arm. I'd say medium pace, slower than you, but handy.
Slightly, not too much.
Yeah. Tell us about Alex, cricketing wise.
So Alex is very, very into his cricket. More than me, I would say. He's more of a batsman than a bowler. When we started sort of practicing for this back in the summer, when we sort of knew it was going ahead, he couldn't quite get his bowling right because he's quite a tall guy. He struggled with the length of the pitch, and he was overcooking it a little bit, and now all of a sudden, since we've done the YouTube channel, he's been getting it right, and his height and the swing that he gets, he's a very, very handy bowler. He was very unlucky in the first innings. I don't know if you saw. He had one sort of went through the slips, and he was very unlucky. He had a very unlucky.
Well, he won't have that. He won't have that problem at the backyard, mate. It's automatic wiki. No. The greatest fielder ever, mate. They never drop him.
But yeah, his bowling's come along very, very well, and he's already a very, very good batsman. He didn't really show it in the video previously, like released on YouTube, but he can bat, and he's made many hundreds in normal cricket, so he has definitely got potential. So he's one to watch. One to watch, I would say.
I guess he's pretty similar to our vice skipper, Matty White. Matty White actually owns the highest international score, 91 in that Test match. So he'll be constantly reminding everyone of that. Don't worry about that.
I hope that'll be under threat.
Yeah, hopefully by me. All right, so we got next one, Jakey Butler. Now, don't know much about him. The Slicer. Can you shed some light on that, or is that one of those nicknames that has to stay in the fucking in the back
it's one of them really. We don't really know where it came from. It just happened.
I can have a guess.
So I don't think that. Yeah, I think I won't.
Okay, well, we won't speculate on that one. But yeah, he's. I guess from what I've seen, so I've got Jakey, I've got Lewis Chapman, Rob Woodward. They're probably a bit more of your averager cricketers.
Jake, I wouldn't write Jakey off. He's a very, very good bowler.
Yeah, sorry, he can bowl. That's right.
He can. So you'll see in the video, he actually gets Alex out second ball of the innings,
Yeah.
Which Alex is a very good batsman. So I wouldn't write him off at all. He's actually, in normal cricket, he can swing a ball miles.
Yeah.
So just with a normal cricket ball, so he's got that natural action that he gets a lot of swing. He's not really a batsman. He can have a go at the ball, but he's not really a batsman. He's more of a bowler.
So he's going to hit it over he's going to hit it over the fence a lot, isn't he?
Well, we're trying to tame him, but it hasn't worked at the moment. So, yeah. But yeah, so he'll be one of our mainline bowlers. He's quite good. Sometimes when he's on it, he's one of them. When he's on it, He'll get 5 wickets. He'll get 5 for 5. Like, it'll be a joke. But when he's not, sometimes. But we're going to hopefully prepare him for the.
Well, you got a bit of time to work on him now.
Exactly.
So is James Maguire related to Rob Maguire?
Yeah, he's Rob's little brother.
Okay, because I haven't seen much of James. Is James injured?
So James in our the YouTube channel that obviously the video brought out for the match, he was actually working. So he's like a top chef in a hotel. So he's not always available like weekends and stuff.
Yeah, all weekends
he's hit miss, but
busy as
yeah. So he played in the the second. What was the one we Instagram live? Was it the second? No, in the second. He played in the second test. I would say he's more of a bowler, sort of a medium pace bowler. He'll be very, very good on your pitch. I think the pitch that we play on, obviously it's flat. It doesn't really do anything. He struggled on it a little bit. Because it doesn't really do anything. I think on your pitch where it sort of deteriorates, he's very good at like off cutters. Very good bowler. Can bat a little bit. He can hang around. He's sort of like a number 8, number 9, sort of it can cause you problems if you don't get him out.
Yeah.
He can bat, but I would say he's a bowler. But he's very, very handy, medium pace bowler. I think he's our youngest player that's going as well. I think.
Yeah, the photo he posted on Instagram, he looks like a pup. Looks like he might be. Is he even 18?
No, I think he's about 24. I think he's our second youngest player.
He looks 12, mate.
No, but he's a very, very handy bowler, and
no disrespect to you, James, when you see this, mate.
I'm sure
you're old enough to have a beer, mate, so that's all that matters.
I'm sure he'll be happy to be. I'd like to be called younger. So
yeah, mate. I just turned 32.
Not bad.
Believe me, I'd love to shave a few years off. All right, so a couple of players that you haven't announced that I've had a look at through your videos. Now, obviously, I just mentioned Rob Maguire. Now, I haven't noticed him with the stick, but with the ball, he is probably going to rival you for probably the quickest bowler, wouldn't he? He's got some wheels.
He's very, very quick, Rob. He's one of probably the best bowlers I've ever played with. Obviously, I haven't played cricket at, I'm not a county cricketer, or I haven't played cricket at a massive level. I've played cricket at sort of county school level and stuff, and he's one of the best. When he's on it massively. I won't say too much about his performance in the last innings because it will ruin it. But I'll say one thing, that one of his deliveries comes up on the speed meter as 90 miles an hour.
So do you actually have it? I thought when I see that speed meter, I thought you might have just been. There's actually a speed meter there.
No, so what it is we have a on the video. It's a speedometer. So basically, you calculate. You can get the app on your phone. So you calculate the distance between the pitch, which we've measured it out exactly as your pitch. Yeah. You calculate the distance, so 13.1, and then you click as he releases the ball, and then you click it again when it hits the bat or goes past the bat, and then it calculates it all, and it turns into 9. Yeah. So obviously on a normal cricket pitch, I wouldn't be 75 miles an hour, but because of the short distance.
Yeah.
And so one of his racks up as 90 miles an hour, and he's a very good bowler. I don't know. I'm not going to say much more on that. I think he's.
That's fine. We've seen enough, mate. Don't worry about that. He's going to be handy. And then we've got two Two players. One I've noticed who's good with the blade, Bijal Patel.
Yeah, he's
tell us a little bit.
we
Tell us
spoke
a little
up
bit about him.
Yeah, so Bijal's he doesn't actually play in our cricket team. So he's played one game for us. I think he hit 100. He's more of a batsman than a bowler. I think I took him for about 20 and then over, which will tell you that he's not really a bowler.
Not bragging or anything.
No, not bragging or anything. But and then so he's a very good batsman. We got him out cheaply in the first innings, I think. I don't know how we got him out. I think I got him out actually. It might be. I can't even remember the video.
Did he hit it over the fence?
No, I think.
Or did you?
I think I bowled him.
Yeah, I remember he was looking. He was looking all right, and then he got out. You did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you did. Yeah, you did knock him over. Yeah.
Yeah, outswinger, top of off stump.
Yeah, seed.
Yeah, so no, he's a good batsman. He hasn't. So that third Test match was his first backyard experience. So getting used to, even for good batsmen, getting used to the shorter pitch.
Yeah.
And the swing ball is very, very difficult to get used to. You know, it's not always. I remember the first time we were in the Dome for the first Test match. That was obviously the venue that we were in, and I set up the pitch, and some people came in that hadn't seen it before, and they said, "Bloody hell, that's so small." I said, "Yeah, but that's the idea of it." And you know, they were like, "Oh, we've got to have LBWs if you're not playing a shot." And I said, "Well, have a bat first and see if you want to play that rule." And then they had a little bit of a bat, and they were like, "Yeah, let's scrap the LBWs." I said, "Yeah, told you." So,
cool.
So yeah, no, he's a very good batsman. He's a good batsman in normal cricket. I think he needs a bit more time in the indoor cricket. But yeah, he's a very good batsman. Yeah.
I think there's someone similar as well. I assume who's they both Indian heritage. I assume Gurpal Singh. Gurpal Singh. He looks a handy batsman too.
Gurps again, you know.
Are they going to? The main question I'm asking is: are they on the plane? Are they getting on the plane? Or are you going to keep that a secret?
I'll give you a little clue. Out of the three you've mentioned, a couple are going on the plane.
Rob and Bijal. Rob's got to be there. Rob has to be on the plane. You'd be spewing if he's not.
I can't say much more on that. Really.
You're trying to convince yourself that you can win without him, mate. You're spewing.
No. Listen, I know who I need to beat you guys.
So is this still a tryout? Like, would you say like these boys are like trying out for the side? This is selection.
Well, let me. So how many have we announced on Instagram? I can't remember.
6.
Is it 6 or 7?
It's 6.
So
yeah.
we've
so you've got yourself, Alex, Jake Butler, Lewis Chapman, James Maguire, Rob Woodward.
Yeah. So we've announced 6, and we stopped announcing them when obviously we had a conversation, and we realised, you know what, it might not quite happen.
Yeah.
In February this year.
Yeah.
So we stopped announcing them just simply because we sort of wanted to get 10 together. And obviously we still had 2 spaces. So technically we still have 2 spaces. So yeah, leading up to the 3 Test matches that we've had, there was still space for, well, that's space for 6 people basically. No, 4 people, sorry. Because we'd only announced 6. There was technically 7 at the time.
Yeah.
So yes, we had space for about 3 more people. Going back to Gurpal, he's a really good batsman. He bowls pace in the video, but he actually bowls leg spin.
Yeah, you're going to need to bring a spinner over. Get him on the plane. You're going to need someone who can bowl a bit of spin.
Don't worry,
mate.
we've got 3 spin bowlers coming over. So
nice.
I've seen for me the pitch deteriorates.
Well, I would say it will over the 2 days. So you know. It will over the day for the Test match as well. But then you're basically playing on the same surface for the next. So yeah, a spinner does come in handy.
We've got a couple. We've got a couple of spinners going. But you know, Gerps can bowl spin. He's a very good batsman. He didn't make much in the first innings. I won't say anything about the second innings because obviously it hasn't been released yet. I don't want to give it away. But in the first test, I think it was, he got 80 or 80 something.
Yeah.
So he outscored everyone. He's got seriously good technique. He's probably got the best technique in our whole team, I would say.
So it's hotting up. So would you say there's 4 spots available and there's maybe 6 blokes that genuinely say, yeah, I'll go? So is that do you have a selection dilemma on your hands?
Not really. We at the time when we had 6 people, we were what was it, April time, wasn't it, when we first sort of announced we were going? We were really desperate for players. It was almost like we were scraping. Like we were like, do you know what? It doesn't matter if we lose, we'll go, and it'll be a good time. And it sort of developed in time. Thank God for this COVID, actually. I can't believe I'm saying it, but because it's given us so much more time to sort of show everyone what we're doing and where we're going and where we're playing, who we're playing against, starting up our channel. And people are seeing what we're doing, and people are going, do you know what? I want a bit of that as well. And you've actually got good players that, and also as well, you've got players that didn't think we were going to pull it off. Yeah. Who were going, nah. And now they realise we're actually going to pull it off. They're like, we've got, to answer your question, we've got what we've been doing really is we've been playing these games. We've been looking at people, going up to them and go, look, do you fancy it? Do you want to come? And, either they give us a yes or no. I think a lot of people that know me know I don't deal in maybes. I don't deal in that shit. Yeah. If you say maybe, it's a no.
Well, you can't when you're going to travel halfway around the world to.
And, when you're trying to organise something, this big, to try and get, 10 people over to Australia, it's not, organising your Ibiza holiday. It's not easy. So
no, you won't be having that much fun down here, mate. I can tell you that much.
So we've got. I wouldn't say we've got people queuing up to play, but we don't want that. What we want is we see who we want. We have a look. We like the look of them. And
we want to fill the spots remaining.
Yeah, fill the spots, but we want to make sure we fill these spots with a couple of good players, because we've already got, I would say, confirmed. I would say we've probably got 4 very, very good players.
Yeah.
And the ones that haven't been announced yet, I'd say half or over half the team's going to be filled with very good players. So, and obviously we've got a couple that aren't as good, but there's a few that I think with a bit of practice will be handy. I know there's a lot of your players that aren't necessarily as naturally as good as you and Matt, but if we can give some of them players a bit of practice, they can be handy. Like Daniel Arnold, he was really good in your last test. Not necessarily as good as you and Matt, but quite handy.
They all played his role. Well, I guess
20,
that's
30, and if they can do that, or get the odd wicket and then let us other 5 or 6 do the rest, we're in a good place. So that's the plan, hopefully.
Well, I guess that's one of the benefits of having international cricket now is everyone wants a piece of it, don't they? So, they rock. So if they're in either Matt's 11 or my side, they've got their mind on. Look, it's we want to win this. This is first and foremost. However, wouldn't mind playing a bit of international backyard cricket. And someone like Daniel Arnold, who he was part of the squad last year, but he only played the one day. He's in the squad to open the batting for the test match.
He done really well. Took a really good catch as well.
Yeah, no.
What do you say? How is that buzz sort of more everyone than just you and Matt? Is there a lot of sort of hype in sort of where you lot are?
Yeah.
We obviously don't. The only people that I talk to is obviously you. I haven't really spoke to Matt for a while, so we don't really know what the other guys are.
Everyone. Look, since we've brought so many people in, and every time you bring someone in new, they just say, "Mate, I want more of this." They just go, "We love it." And obviously, the fact that we've all grown, and just the days as they are, it's just it's it is about cricket, and it's about serious cricket, and it's about competitiveness. It's also about having a drink with your mates and all that as well. So that the days in themselves are just fantastic events. But yeah, the prospect, you know, I think the reason why we're so successful is that we're all so competitive. So we've either played with each other, like a lot of soccer or a lot of cricket. We've either played with each other or against each other. A lot of the players there. Funny enough, we play for two. We used to play for two sides, Condell Park and Georges River Thistles, and we're actually local rivals. So we've actually been on the football field rivals with each other, and then now we're actually as players. A lot of the Thistles guys are on one side, and Condell Park was like that last year. So naturally, it was competitive, and we're just naturally competitive. And now the fact that you've got international spots up for grabs, that just sweetens the deal. And I think, just with, we've been lucky enough to be on Sunrise and get internet, like get national airtime. I spoke to Shane Warne the other day myself and Matt on the cricket show during the lunch break, stuff like that. It's just been, our Instagram has been blowing up, our YouTube's been blowing up. So everyone's just kind of buzzing about what we've myself and Matt have got big plans for the WCG, and now that Logan's on board with Cricket New Zealand, now you guys are on board, so we've all got big plans. I think we all want to see this culminate into a backyard cricket World Cup, and I think that's the exciting thing, is that we all know that okay, we've got national TV broadcasters that want to get on board and know what we're about. So and I'm going to assume that's going to be no different for you guys in the future as well. So that's we're all buzzing, mate. We're all buzzing. It's a shame that it's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame with COVID, because it's just a logistical nightmare, isn't it? Me and you've just been back and forth. Like, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? We're trying to still get the Kiwis over for a series in March, but we don't know if their Prime Minister's going to allow them to have a travel bubble to get back over without quarantine. It's just a mess, mate. Unfortunately, we're about we're 9 days away from our Australia Day T20 Big Bash, and we don't even know if we're going to be allowed to have and the restrictions ease, so we can get enough people into Matt's house to be able to play it without breaking the rules. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate.
Have you guys got any cases, or?
I think
I thought you guys
state by state.
good.
Mostly we're all right after what happened in Melbourne, where that really blew up. But ever since then, we've had bits and pieces around New South Wales, and I guess it depends who you ask, mate. You know what I mean? Like, some people will say, it's an issue. Others will say, that's, it's only that many cases. But I guess, as I said,
it's like everywhere, isn't it?
As I said to you in the green room, mate, we'll kind of try and keep politics out of this discussion. But look, I guess we find out, hopefully the Premier, if we're allowed to have 10, in a household, then we can play it group by group, because there's 9 in a group. So there's 3 teams of 3. So with Matt, the house owner, you can have, I think, so if they allow 10, you can have 11, because that's his house. So you can have 10 in there. That we can make that work. If at the moment it's 5, it's restricted to 5. So you can't really. So we're going to need that to change, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Another thing, obviously with us coming next year now, obviously with the normal Ashes hopefully on in Australia, that might even bring some more publicity to the the hype to it, which is fantastic.
Unfortunately, it has come at a wrong time, COVID. When is it going to be a right time? But for us in particular, when we started to blow up, but the silver lining to that is that we can really kind of ride off the coattails of the Ashes series, building up for our series. Obviously we've got to still work out a date, but it's going to be next summer and at some stage. So that's that's something that it could end up being a positive. It's gonna it'll be, when we organise this, probably the back end of 2019 we started talking. So so it might be 2.5 to 3 years in the making, but we're going to get it done one way or another. We'll get it done. If we have to meet halfway and play in maybe Thailand, we'll get it done.
They got some nice cricket pitches there as well.
We'll play on the beach, a bit of beach cricket in Phuket maybe.
Sounds good. No, we'll make it happen. It's going to happen anyway. As I said, we've got our flights refunded. Once they get refunded, it doesn't leave my account. It's going into my account and back into another flight. So we're ready to go. As I said, we've slightly got a few more cases here than you guys for whatever reason, but we're vaccinating people quickly here. So my hope is by the end of sort of this year, we'll all be vaccinated and hopefully we'll be allowed to come to Australia. If we're all,
I guess
the good thing is
that's the way it's heading, isn't it? It looks like you're going to have to get vaccinated to travel overseas.
I think that's going to be the situation. I mean, luckily, I spoke to all of our boys on our WhatsApp group, and they're all happy to have a vaccination because obviously you get some people that aren't too happy with it, and all 10 of us are quite happy to have it to make this series happen and get to Australia. So,
and we appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, and that's a positive thing. But
happy days. All right. Well, I think this will be the first of many episodes that we'll speak to yourself, and we'll get to know Alex. We'll hook up another chat in the not too distant future and just see how things are progressing. Yeah, we'll probably do, by the time we have our series, we're probably going to have 10 of these chats just to see what's going on. But thanks for dropping in, mate.
No worries.
Stay safe. For those who are watching, please follow the links to all their social medias and stuff will be in the description of this video. Go and follow the boys. Get on the back of their journey because they're beginning to start wonderful things on their platform. So, Ricky, good to have a word to you, mate, and I'll see you next time, right?
You too. See you later, Brendan. Cheers. You too, mate.